Hey Explorers, I'm Wesley from the Cloud Explorers, and welcome to Microsoft AI Advent Calendar, the Winter Party Exploration Series. Today is the day 17th of our OpenAI calendar, so let's check what is the topic of the day. So, prompt engineering using Azure OpenAI Service. So, as in the other videos, let's start sharing the documentation that we get the information from. So basically here on the Microsoft OpenAI Service documentation, we have two main topics. One, it's the introduction to prompt engineering, and the second, it's the prompt engineering techniques. I will approach just the first one today because it's already a lot of content, and I don't want to extend too much the video. So before we start, I think it's good to understand what the GPT model, how the GPT model works. So basically, it interacts with prompts. So prompt it's the way we use to talk with the model, and then it will answer our questions with text completions. So basically, it will predict what's the next word based on a variety of already known texts. So based on these texts that they use to train the model, it will try to predict what's the best completion for that sentence. Because this, it's very nice to understand how the prompt is splitted. So what are the main elements and how we can improve the techniques to create these prompts. And another reason to create, to understand this creation is that we can improve the model, the prompts, and then we can optimize the amount of prompts that we do. Because if you are talking about Azure OpenAI, the charging is based tokens that you provide. Later on, we'll see what a token is. But basically, the more tokens you put, the more you pay. So it means that in a large scale, if you do the prompt and it doesn't work well, you need to do another prompt, you are wasting tokens, which means that you're wasting money as well. Okay, so this is one of the important factors to improve your prompt technique. Okay, so here, the basics here, it's explaining what I said. So it tries to predict the models based on texts that were used to train the model. Okay, and then here we start to see what are the prompt components. So the first component is instructions. So basically, we use a simple instruction to say what we want the model to do. So for example, here they are asking the model to write an introduction for a weekly newsletter, and then it provides a sort of text. Then you can enhance the content and put more specific information. So here you have a more accurate completion based on the input that you provided together with that instruction. Okay. And then we start to see other things. So before we jump, basically every prompt should have at least one instruction. Should be a question, or should be an ask like this. So at least one instruction you should have on your prompt. Now let's start to see other things like the primary content. Basically, you can provide some text, for example, content of an email, and then based on this text, you can start to ask your questions to the model, and then the model, based on the text and other information that was used to be trained, it will predict and complete your sentence for you. Okay, here it's a very simple one, just asking to translate how to get into a museum French. I won't pronounce. I don't want to try to be ashamed about my French here. But here, another example is about summarization. Like I said, you can ask to summarize an email. Here I have an interesting text that we can use as an example. It is basically a text extracted from the NASA channel, the NASA website, explaining what is a black hole. Okay, so here is the source of the text. And here we have our chat playground. So here I will paste the text. And here on the bottom, I put 2 questions already. 2 asks actually. So here I will remove this part and then ask the model to summarize. So basically it took all this long text and summarized it in 1 paragraph. What else? We can also use the cues, so we can kind of induce the output of our prompt. So still on the text of the black holes, I have 2 more. Okay, let me copy again. I think I lost here. Yep. So again, we have the text, and I can ask to summarize and then induce the answer. So here it started with black hole is a region in space where gravity is so strong that nothing, not even light, can escape. So here I can summarize, and I can ask it to summarize and induce the answer starting the sentence. So a black hole is formed by, and then enter. And then here we can see a black hole is formed by the collapse of a dying star, resulting in a region of space where gravity is so strong that nothing, including lighting, can escape. Okay, so one more example. Here in this text, I know that they have the answer for this. So I'm asking what's the main black hole in our galaxy. And then once again, the main black hole in our galaxy is called Sagittarius A. It's located at the center of Milky Way galaxy and has a mass equal to about 4 million suns. Okay, so this is just a few more examples. Here, this one, it's quite interesting to test as is. So here they are explaining that depending on the format of your input, the output can be completely different. Here we are giving an example. So headline, coach confident in jury won't derail warriors, and then topic. And then here it understands that the completion should be a phrase, a sentence. So we can try this on the model. Let's clear the chat. And then as shown on the documentation, it says that it thinks that the topic that I want it's a sentence, but it's not true. Actually, if we look here, we are giving more than one example. So for example, the first headline, the topic is basketball. The second is soccer. The third, football, and so on. So here, if we copy the text and paste here, let's clear the chat once again. It theoretically should understand based on the examples and fill the topic based on the context of the question, based on the previous examples. So let's try. and then it says that's basketball, exactly like we saw on the example in the documentation. Okay, so here the cues we already saw, and here we have also supporting content. So basically we give a bit more context to have a more precise answer. So here we are asking for a workshop list, and pay attention that here on the second sentence where we are giving the supporting content, the output will be different. So let's clear the chat once again. And again, it was a bit more generic. If we ask the same question as here, it will be more accurate and give topics related to the AI. That's exactly what we asked, actually GPT models. Okay. Then we have some best practices. So as more specific, we are more accurate, and we'll have more accuracy we'll have on the answers. We can also try to use analogies, so we'll get also better answers. We can double down. So basically we ask on the beginning and on the bottom, and then it will be sure that we are not biased, because the models today looks like they have some bias, that the end of the text has more weight on the answer than on the beginning. So looks like based on studies, people is saying that if you do the question on the beginning and in the end, you have a better answer. So, and also related to the order matters. So depending on how, if you ask on the beginning or in the end, you can have different answers. And then give the model an out. So basically it's what I said, that we induce the output, giving a short beginning of the sentence that you're expecting. Here, about the tokens. So basically, the more tokens you have, you give to the model, the more you pay. And so it's important to try to save a bit of money on that, because if you are just playing around, okay, fine. But if you want to introduce this in your company, then it means that every prompt that you do that's not efficient, you need to do another one, and then you are just wasting tokens and money by consequence. Okay, so this is what I wanted to show today. Thank you very much for watching, and see you on the next video.